there's not been a pickleball person on the Wheaties box. I'll walk through and I'm like, oh, who's on the Wheaties box?
Yeah.
I don't know why. Maybe because as a kid, it was a big
nostalgia.
deal.
It was,
you know?
yeah. You had not Babe Ruth.
Damn, how old are you?
Taking it back.
This is Big Dink Energy, the pickleball podcast that's half insight, half nonsense, and all entertainment. If you love pickleball, don't take yourself too seriously and think a little trash talk makes the game better, welcome home. This is the place where life and pickleball intersect. We celebrate the chaos, call out the nonsense, and put the fun back in dysfunction. You're either in or you're out. And if you're still listening, you're in. So let's go. Big Dink Energy starts now. If my calculations are correct, when this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some Thank you, Doc Brown. This is the official podcast of Pickleball, Big Dink Energy. Now listen, hey, this episode is sponsored by one of our favorites. You already know about the Pretty Pickleball Company, but this is next level. We're so pumped to share that listen right now, turn your radios up. The Pretty Pickleball Company was named Pickleball Gear Brand of the Year in 2025 by Lux Life Magazine. Yes, applause all around. Clap in your car. That's not hype. That's industry recognition, stylish gear that performs. Design that actually respects women players. That's how I dress. And a brand that shows up for the pickleball community in a real way. If you're still playing with gear that looks like you're a back alley hobo playing with gear that came from a lost and found bin, it might be time to upgrade. Check out the Pretty Pickleball Company and use code BIGDINKENERGY15 and see why they're setting the standard. You will look good even if you aren't.
That's true. That is true because I get a lot of compliments and it's not by skill. That's for sure.
Same.
Yes, it's all paddle related.
So
all paddle related.
I thought since we're halfway through January, which I feel like it's the perfect time to talk about New Year's resolutions, because by now most of them are wobbling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Faltering,
yes.
we're falling down.
So my personal opinion is that I feel like January 1st is the most dishonest day of the year because people promise things that they haven't changed their life to support. So they make all these commitments, but really, like if you haven't changed anything about like your schedule, your finances, your boundaries in December, like January's not going to have a chance. Like you can't just arbitrarily, it's just performative, really. I don't think it's practical.
Yeah, I think, one of the biggest ways this shows up is the gym memberships that people got for Christmas, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to start. And so if you're a gym goer, you've seen a lot of new faces in the last couple weeks at your facility. And you will stop seeing them right around February.
Yeah.
Because the plan was not put in place for success.
Right. I agree.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think you're right. Without the right prior planning, and what we say in the military is the P's, prior planning prevents piss poor performance. Yeah. I don't even have a pee popper on my mic, Jeff. Our little engineer needs to know that. But yes, so I think you do have to have the pre-planning that goes into it. What are some of the other like New Year's resolutions that are kind of traditional?
To stop drinking.
Stop drinking. Yeah.
Dry January.
Dry January. I know that's a thing.
What about the church? We fast.
Like
Daniel
the Daniel fast.
We do a Daniel fast, 30-day cleansing fast, get you more connected.
I mean, I guess I've done New Year's resolutions, but I feel like it's really the best way to start is to subtract stuff. If you take things out of your life.
Addition by subtraction.
Yes. I think if you
It's a call out from the office.
I think if you take things out of your life, then you have more room for the things that you do want in your life.
Okay.
But so many people just stack and stack and stack, and then they become overwhelmed, and then nothing gets done. So
Yeah.
So
I think
go
with
ahead.
me for New Year's resolutions, like it used to be, okay, yeah, January 1st, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do this all of the next year, where now it's changed to my goal for 2026 is to do this. Not that I'm going to be doing, not that I'm going to work out 3 days a week, that I'm going to start working out.
Right.
Something that is actually attainable. I think that I set so many unattainable goals.
Not smart goals.
Yeah, they weren't. Like the past few years that like this coming new year has just kind of taught me what do I want the overall feel and what do I want my overall goal for the year to be so that I am feeling healthy and successful.
I like that.
Yeah, we were talking with our son the other day, and that's one of the things that you're kind of alluding to is what is the end result you're looking for, right? What does success look like? And then another thing from the military is backwards planning,
reverse engineering.
Yeah, so if I know what the goal is, then I can backwards plan from that.
I just think, like, for me especially, the biggest shifts in my life never happened in January. Never.
No, because it's the same thing as I'm starting my diet Monday. I'm starting to work out Monday.
Yeah, the biggest shifts for me started when something either broke, we lost time, we lost money, we lost energy, or I lost peace. That's when I started making changes. So, like, even when I did 75 hard, it wasn't in January. So I don't know. I'm just not a January person. I think that's giving yourself a timeline you don't necessarily need because you could have started the 29th of December.
Right. Why January 1st?
I think it just gives people extra excuse as to 3 extra days.
It's a social thing. It's a social construct, kind of like Valentine's Day.
Yeah,
it's a
I can see that.
thing.
I commend people for it, and there are probably a lot of people out there.
Oh yeah, we're definitely pissing some people off right now.
Well, I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of people that stick to it, but maybe they're just not creating the right goals for themselves, and they're creating goals that they think they should do. I don't know.
I think that a lot of the goals that are set are unattainable. That they're, instead of like, I want to work out 3 days a week. People are like, I'm going to work out 7 days a week. And then when they don't hit that 7 day, 1 day because they're exhausted, then it just slowly goes downhill.
Right. The attainable, the A in SMART goals.
Yeah, it's not. And if you're not setting goals for yourself and giving yourself grace, and there's like absolutely no grace for yourself, then you're not going to have that overall end goal that you were talking about at the end of the year. You're going to feel like you didn't accomplish anything, that you let yourself fail, that you let others down because you told them about your goal, and then it's just going to make you feel worse in the end.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. You hit the nail on the head. I think if it's great to set a goal, but you also have to have built in some grace for yourself, because if it's a lofty goal, great, set it way out there, set the bar high for yourself. But, if you have a bad day or a bad moment or a slip, then okay, that's okay. I'm still better than I was yesterday. I'm still better than I was last year. I'm still better at this point than I was at the last point I measured this.
Yeah, and I think one of the other things, like with the vision boards, and I'm not complaining about vision boards or anything like that. I think those are great. You definitely need to have a vision for your life and, see it everywhere. But sometimes people do like the health, like the lifestyle wheel, like the health, the finances, the relationships, all of it. And then they don't know where to start, and they just get confused, and then they're overwhelmed, and they just don't do any of it. So.
Yeah, and I think this time of year, we have so many creators out there nowadays. Some of it's perfunctory too. Like I've got to do this for views, for clicks, and look at me, I'm awesome. Look at my vision board.
Yeah,
and it's just we're such a virtual, fake culture anymore. I hate to say it, but I really think we are. And then you're kind of, your followers are looking at you like, oh, I can't ever attain that.
Yeah. I say subtract things from your life, pick one major thing that's going to then allow all those other things. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So have that one North Star goal that will trickle down and to help all the other parts of your life, instead of having 17 huge goals.
Right.
So.
Yeah, I like it. Tell us what you do out there. If you've got a vision board, if you've got a New Year's resolution, if you've got SMART goals, share with us. Drop in the comments everywhere that we are and tell us what you do. If you resonated with this or you hated it, either way, send us some mail. You may not get read on the air. Speaking of mail. Listen, Carrie said, I think I know Carrie, I absolutely loved your final episode of 2025. Of course, Carrie, who wouldn't love our episode? Who wouldn't love just every episode that we have?
I agree.
But if you haven't listened to the last episode, go listen to it after you listen to this full episode.
I had the flu on that episode.
Oh, yeah, you were out of it.
I felt horrible.
Yep.
Just the tip.
Just the tip, quick pickleball wisdom, in and out before you know it. Watch your opponent's paddle.
Especially if it's from the Pretty Pickleball Company.
Their paddle angle gives you clues about direction and speed. One of the best pickleball strategy tips for beginners.
Just the tip.
It's time for Pickle Pals.
Another Pickle Pals coming straight to your ear holes. Now listen, today I'm joined by the Real Dink Master. Yeah, I said that right, which is either the most confident nickname in pickleball or a challenge to every other Dink Master out there. We'll see. Born in Mexico City, now calling Rome, Georgia home, this guy teaches at one of the biggest pickleball facilities in the state, the Rome Downtown Racket Center, with 22 dedicated courts. But here's what makes him different. He doesn't believe in losing. Either you win or you learn. He's a self-proclaimed positivist who believes things will always turn out well. I love that. Which, if you play pickleball and your partner keeps hitting it into the net, you know that's a superpower. Ladies and gentlemen, the Real Dink Master himself, Luis Rojas. Luis, welcome to Big Dink Energy Podcast. Now, listen, when you call yourself the Real Dink Master, I've got to start with that right away. Our fans are going to want to know that. Who gave you the nickname, the Real Dink Master?
Well, you know what? I guess it was a self-proclaimed. First of all, thank you for having me, Guy. Like I said earlier, I'm just super excited to be here, and I really appreciate the opportunity. But going back to the Real Dink Masterpiece, it was just something I put together. When I first started playing pickleball, I saw this tournament called the Dink Master Tournament, and I ended up, thinking that was a really cool name. And when I chose to embark in this pickleball journey, I figured it would be good to, start with something that was exciting and fun and just funny to me, So that's how it came to be. And here we are today. It's been a journey since I first became the Real Dink Master.
Just living up to that name, right?
That's right.
So there's, we said at the top of it, you're from Mexico City originally. Now you're in Rome, Georgia. That's obviously a huge culture shift. I would guess there's some soccer in your background too, if I'm not being too bold with that. So what brought you to Rome, and then how did pickleball fit into that journey?
Yeah. Well, first, there's definitely a soccer story involved in my past, and I'm actually super passionate about it. I follow my favorite teams every weekend, and I just love it. And what brought me to Rome was just work. I was living in Oregon when I decided to move to Georgia. I was going to school, taking on an MBA, and this opportunity came to be. I was familiar with the company that I'm currently working for. It's called Cliff Drysdale Tennis Management. And so I applied for a pickleball director position initially at the Rome Downtown Racket Center. When I was being interviewed for it, they said, I see you have a really strong tennis background. That's really good for us to know. But we don't really see the pickleball background in you. Do you have any experience with that? And, I played it a couple of times up until then. And I said, well, I actually don't have any teaching experience, but I play a little bit. And I feel like I could figure out my way into it. I figured it was a good opportunity, and why not shoot my shot? And I think they appreciated that. And so at the time, who's now my boss and mentor brought up, an opportunity that they had, the Rome Tennis Center, which is the biggest hardcore tennis facility in the nation. And they said that if I was interested, they could interview me for that position. And I ended up saying yes and moved to Georgia a week after I accepted the position. And it's been a journey since. I started playing and teaching tennis when I first moved out here. And then a year and a half after I started, I feel like I reached my tennis peak.
Yeah.
Because I was really working towards the dream of becoming a professional tennis player and earning professional points at the pro level.
Yeah.
And, I worked really hard for it. I feel like I became as good as I could possibly be, And then when I finally got to a point where I started winning tournaments and feeling confident and playing really at my best, I just hit a wall. I didn't feel right anymore. I felt like I was becoming someone that I didn't know if I wanted to be.
Yeah.
I didn't find tennis fun anymore.
Sure.
It was just wasn't fun anymore. There was pressure behind it. There was doubt. There was fear. And I just didn't know what to do. And I came up to my mentor and he said, well, up until that point, we played pickleball a couple of times. And he said, well, I think pickleball might be something that it might be worth looking into, And I said, like, I don't know if I'm ready to leave tennis, because he said, if that's something that you do want to do, though, it's, something that you gotta fully jump into, like you kind of have to leave tennis behind and give it a real shot,
Yeah.
And I said, I don't know if I'm ready to do that yet. But long story short, 2 weeks after that, I said, you know what, tennis no more, and let's really see what this pickleball thing looks like, And funny enough, at the time, the Atlanta Open was happening, and so I decided to sign up for my first singles event at 4-0, and I ended up winning it, and just having a lot of fun, seeing the value in pickleball, and that's where the journey officially started.
That's awesome. That's a great origin story. So, the facility there at the Rome Tennis Center, that's part of, that's a satellite kind of Berry College, right?
Yes.
And so do the tennis players and the pickleball players get along? Is there a little bit of infighting there, or like a you stole our courts kind of thing?
Well, so actually the way it worked is we have the Rome Tennis Center, which has somewhere between 43 and 45 outdoor courts and 6 indoor courts. So we have tennis courts for days. And we actually, throughout the year, we dedicate 2 of our indoor courts to pickleball. We tape them between tennis courts so that they're not on the tennis courts. And we have some of those rolling nets. So throughout the year, we have 2 indoor courts in case it's too hot or it rains. And then in the winter, we have a big indoor tournament, and we tape 6 indoor courts for the winner. And then we have the Rome Downtown Racket Center, which is a club that's fully dedicated to pickleball. We also have tennis courts there. We have like 6 tennis courts, but we have now 28 pickleball courts. And so throughout the year, most players in Rome that play pickleball play at the Rome Downtown Racket Center. And then in the winter, we shift
for sure
to the indoor courts at the Rome Tennis Center. But there's no really fight for courts in our area, just because we have so many courts that, you never have to wait for courts. You never have to fight for them. So to answer your question, it really doesn't exist, that fight between pickleball and tennis players. I will say there is a big fight, or not a big fight, but something when it comes to tennis players versus pickleball players.
Yeah. For sure. For sure.
The typical I'm not ready for that type of thing exists, and that sort of thing.
So, being a self-proclaimed positivist, I absolutely love this. Glass is always full, or maybe glass is half full, and can I have some more, please? How do you teach that win or learn mindset to your students who are convinced maybe they suck and they'll never improve?
Yeah, well, the first thing I make sure that I do is I try to be vulnerable with them.
Mm-hmm.
I try to just take a moment to say things out loud and how they are, and just greet them with a smile and tell them like, hey, like I see this, but I'm here to help. And if you allow me to do it, I promise you that I will do my best to help you.
Yeah.
In whatever it is that you need help with.
Yeah.
Because as a coach, I realize that sometimes you think that you are struggling with something because you don't know the pickleball side of it.
Yep.
But there's times where there's something else that's
maybe
keeping you from doing it properly.
Being blocked by something.
Yeah.
And I think in that mindset, the thing, where we talk about the glass half full, the first thing we need to realize is the glass was open and ready to be filled. Right. And so when people can show up to the court like that, just open and ready to be filled, they're absolutely going to have a better time with that, with you especially.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I completely agree with that.
So now, has that mindset ever backfired for you? Like, have you ever been too optimistic, or just someone just was not ready for it and they kind of walked off because you're too positive?
Yeah. It's actually happened more than once. It happens almost every day. There's always that someone that they're just very realistic people, right? They are okay with things not being perfect all the time. And, a lot of times they make that clear to me, and I have to make sure that I recognize that and that I'm able to work with it. The thing that I have found is that when you encounter someone that's very different than you in that way, that you try to meet them in the middle, that you definitely say your piece and you show them where you stand. but that you also take a second to understand where they're standing and not try to push the boundary of, hey, let's have fun and joke around
Right.
and all smiles and say your piece, give them a little bit of space and
Yeah.
see how they respond to that. I've had people, they just don't vibe with it at all. And there's times where, I get to a point where I'm like, while I understand and I respect why you don't vibe with me, I hope you understand and respect that I don't vibe with you either,
Yeah. Yeah.
and so I've had one person walk out of the court and just
Wow.
say, thank you. And, there's days like that, where I always try to be respectful, and I try not to engage in, toxic and negative behavior.
For
But
sure.
there's times where people are having a bad day and you just don't rub them the right way. And it's completely understanding for someone to be like, you know what, I'm not having you today. Maybe I'll come back, maybe I won't. But, as a coach, you also have to learn to see those experiences for what they are and learn from
Yeah,
them.
absolutely.
Make sure that you don't, because maybe that day I did push too far,
Yeah.
and that maybe it pushed that person to just say, hopefully
Yeah.
this teaches you a lesson,
Yeah, I think they, like we said earlier, though, they have to show up with the right mindset. You can't expect to be filled up if you're not ready to be filled up. I teach de-escalation training in my other life, and people can't be de-escalated until they're ready to be de-escalated. I think in this situation, it's the same. You can't learn until you're ready to learn, till you show up with the right attitude for learning. Now, if someone was asking, why am I going to go to Rome Downtown Racket Center versus any other pickleball place in the area, what's kind of the elevator pitch, the one or two sentences that you would tell someone like, yeah, this is the place to be. You don't want to be anywhere else.
Yeah, it is the place to be because of two main things. The first one is the people, man.
Mm-hmm.
I would not be playing pickleball if I didn't start around the people that make up the Rome Downtown Racket Center. They are just so kind, respectful, helpful. When I first started playing pickleball, I wanted to be good, because I had a very high bar coming from tennis. And so, when I first broke into group text in town, I would reach out to them every single day, twice a day, maybe 3 times a day. And I would say, does anyone want to drill? Does anyone want to play singles? Does anyone want to play doubles? Right. And there was always someone that would make time for me. Always someone, And yeah, I think that's the main reason. You are going to go to the Rome Downtown Racket Center. And I can assure you that you're going to get multiple games in with a lot of different people. And that all of those people are going to be respectful and fun.
Okay.
That's the first thing. The second thing is it's a beautiful venue where you never have to wait for reports.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely important, when we're showing up can I even get a court, or am I paddle stacking and hoping I can jump in somewhere? Yeah, I think a lot of people love that, that they can show up and they know they're going to have a court. When you guys are that big, obviously it gets a little bit easier that way. So let me ask you this, 5 years from now, what does success look like for the Real Dink Master? For Lewis, is it, are you still teaching in Rome? Are you running clinics across the country? Are you guys expanding, or are you just building your own facility?
Yeah, great question, Guy. I think success for me looks like this. I am in the top 10 singles rankings at the PPA Tour and have my own pickleball facility.
Love it. Yes, I was hoping you would say that, man. I was hoping
my own indoor pickleball facility.
Yeah. That's fantastic. I love both of those right there for you. And I have no doubt with your positive attitude and the people you come across and the people you influence, that's going to be easy to do in 5 years for sure. So last question. If you had to teach one thing to every pickleball player in the world, beginner to pro, what would it be? Give me 30 seconds to tell you about something that really matters. Dink and Dash is the app built for people who actually play pickleball. Log games in your Dink diary, add your pickle pals, and earn badges for the memories you're making on and off the court. It's not about stats. It's about friends made, courts played, memories saved. Quick thank you to our pickle partners who backed this early. The Pretty Pickleball Company, Dinky Balls, Dink Ninja, Pickleball Light Grip Pro, Dink Date, and Guardian Pickleball. We see you. All right, now back to the chaos.
Yeah. This is the thing for me. I learned it from my mentor, called Gaston, and it's something that completely changed my game, my look on racket sports. If you understand that the idea of quality, right? What does quality mean?
Mm-hmm.
Being able to play 4 shots before you allow yourself to miss every point, that's gonna put you in a path that is just gonna in a never-ending path. You're always gonna get better, right? If you understand that you need to hit 4 shots every point before you miss,
Yeah.
you are gonna win, let's say 53% of the points you play.
I love
because
that.
you have quality.
Yeah.
You know, if you're a player that misses constantly within the first 3 shots, you're gonna struggle,
I
right?
love that. I never thought of that before. Yeah, if you can nail those, after the third shot drop, you can nail that next shot, picking where you want to put the ball, based on how the other team, you see the other team playing. Those 4 shots, man. I think you're absolutely right on every volley, right? If you can get that down. Yeah, that's huge. I love that.
Yeah, and I think that tip actually applies to all levels of players, right?
Yeah.
Like it doesn't matter if you're a beginner or a pro, right? If you're a beginner, it's gonna hitting at least 4 shots per point is gonna allow you to play the point. And if you're a pro, it's gonna allow you to play a good quality point, right? You're gonna get the point started, and you're going to give yourself an opportunity to either lose or win the point.
Yeah.
But at least you're going to get to that point where you can do that,
Yeah, and I think that's right about the time you start settling into your rhythm, too, for that particular set, right? So, yeah, man, I just absolutely love that. That's great. So how can people get a hold of you? How can people get a hold of the courts? What's all the social media taglines everybody needs to know?
Yeah. Well, they can always reach out to me through DM on any of my social platforms, going from Instagram to YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Snapchat. I am there under the Real Dink Master. Email works too, therealdinkmaster@gmail.com. If people are looking for private lessons, whether they are in person or online, they just have to reach out to me directly. Or if you're in town in Rome, you can just call either the Rome Tennis Center or the Rome Downtown Racket Center. You can call the office, look it up on Google, call the office, ask for me, and you'll be able to get all my details, rates, lesson times, everything.
Love it. Well, Lewis, the Real Dink Master, I appreciate you being on the Big Dink Energy podcast. To all you fake Dink Masters out there, don't come for Lewis. He knows what he's all about out there. Thank you, Lewis, for being on the podcast today.
Thank you, Guy. Thank you for having me.
It's time for Pick Six.
Get in where you fit in. Pick Six is where we take one question, each bring 2 answers, and immediately regret agreeing to this segment. What you got?
Things that start a fight in 0.5 seconds.
I like this.
Mine is going to be chewing too loud.
Oh, I like that. This doesn't taste like your mom's.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Ooh.
I would have done it differently.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
That could definitely start a fight.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Did you seriously buy another Stanley? Yes, I did.
Oh my God.
Oh, that feels like a personal attack for her.
This
Yes,
could
I
be
did,
a
Guy.
topic.
Yes,
This
I
could be
did
a
buy another cup.
I believe it wholeheartedly. Your sister's a better kisser.
Oh, I guess I'll round it out with, hey, have y'all ever heard of the flat earth theory?
Good Lord. I can be in another room and hear that. And
That'll
go
start a
ballistic.
fun fight.
I got brought up the other day.
What you got? Tell us what you liked about Pick Six, and tell us what your thoughts are on what can start a fight within 0.5 seconds.
News you can use.
Stand by. I've just been handed this. Did you know Anna Lee Waters, I think you've heard that name before, officially posted what many are calling the end of an era today, confirming her split from Paddle Tech. Yep, you heard it here first, probably. That partnership defined a huge chapter for her career, and now she's paddle free and public. Hey, get in our DMs, Paddle Tech. We got you. So listen, this isn't gossip. This is market movement. She's the most influential player, arguably, in the sport. Whatever paddle she picks and uses and has in her hand will sell immediately.
Branding.
That's right. Maybe she's going to go with Pretty Pickleball Company.
That would be awesome.
She's already testing gear from Franklin Sports with apparel chatter tied to Nike. Now, that'll be big. These are the next steps, I think, to getting us in the Olympics
I
as
agree.
big sponsors
Well,
like this.
did you know, this got me thinking, there's not been a pickleball person on the Wheaties box. So maybe she'll be the first one on the Wheaties box.
Well,
didn't know that Wheaties still
technically
existed.
there is, but not. She wasn't playing pickleball at the time.
Who?
Was one of the tennis sisters.
Oh, no, but there
So-
hasn't been like a Williams. You're
One of
talking
the
about one of the
Williams.
Williams sisters.
Yeah.
But there hasn't been a pickleball person. So that would be like another one of those milestones.
Yeah,
You
I
know?
think this is definitely a level up.
This is. I think for her, I don't know the reasons. Everybody's just speculating because,
Right.
As we record this, it came out today. But I think this is an up level for her. I think it's just, she's gotten to a point and it's like, it's time to, some things that got you to where you were are not going to be the same things that get you to where you want to go.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I think an up level is good for her.
Well, obviously, we know as we sit in these chairs and crack these mics, this isn't a niche thing anymore.
Right.
I mean, and I keep saying it, and I'll say it for a little while still, is we are at the tip of an iceberg that hasn't just come to the surface yet.
Yeah.
Pickleball is going to be huger than it is.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this is something that signals that. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out.
Yeah. Some major brand
There's
names.
going to be some major brands that are courting her right now, and it
I
will
wonder
be
if
a
Tesla's
turning
reached
point.
out.
It would definitely, a huge brand like that would definitely not only take her, but also the sport more public.
Yeah.
So I'd like to see that. And I'd like to see Wheaties box.
Two things. Elon getting her DMs. Let's get that Tesla paddle in her hand. And also Elon getting our DMs. We want to have you on the
And has
podcast.
anybody eaten Wheaties like in the last 40 years?
I didn't know it still existed, so no.
Oh, shame. Yeah.
No, I'm
Wheaties
just
is
wondering.
good.
I don't really eat cereal. So
I don't
Wheaties
either.
is good. I think.
I still look at the boxes though.
Yeah.
Anytime I walk through if I don't order groceries, I'll walk through and I'm like, oh, who's on the Wheaties box? I don't know why. Maybe because as a kid, it was
Right,
a
it's
big
nostalgia.
It was.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So-
Babe. You had, not Babe Ruth.
deal. Damn, how old are you?
Taking it back.
You had Bruce Jenner. Bruce
gosh.
Jenner on the
You
box.
said Babe Ruth.
They might be that old. I don't know how old
I
they
know,
are.
but damn, you wouldn't have remembered that.
Yeah, I watched him play.
No, you did
no,
not.
I did not. The Bambino,
Oh my gosh.
I just think that
the
it's,
Sultan of SWAT.
I think that it is one of those
The Bronx
things-
Bomber?
Stop.
Okay.
I think that it's one of those things that will always amplify a athlete.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, Wheaties is the big brother of Raisin Bran. And both of them need a ton of sugar on top. So if you're Anna Lee, what do you chase here? Do you chase the innovation, money, or legacy?
When Mary Lou Retton was on Wheaties, oh, gosh, she was
Do you
my
still have
idol.
the box?
No.
You sleep with it.
No, my mom bought generic cereal. I didn't even get real Wheaties.
Well, you would
I
get
could look at the
you would get
box
it once, and then she put
and
the
then
generic
put the generic inside.
Yes. Welcome
I
to
can
my
see
life
that.
as well.
All right. Well, hopefully we get some pickleball in the Wheaties box.
Yeah, Anna Lee, pop in. Just let us know what you're doing, girl. Hit us up. Drop in my DMs anytime. I know you want to play mixed doubles with me. I've got a waiting list, though, so line up quickly, ladies.
Yeah.
That's it for this episode. Unless you've got something to say, think we got it wrong, have a better take, we want to hear it. Find us at bdepodcast.com or at BDE Podcast on the socials. Drop us a message. We might just feature you in the next episode. If you had a good time, well, samesies. If not, maybe try again. We grow on people. So you know the deal. Follow the show, tell a friend, and leave us a review. Or just pretend this never happened. Until next time, keep the dink soft and the energy big.